Hey guys, welcome back to the shop, and here we are at another Saturday night special. So we've got a bunch of machining this week, and the first bit of content is going to be about the shaper. And what we're going to do with the shaper is I'm going to grind in a new tool bit, a roughing tool bit, and we're going to take a piece of regular old hot rolled plate steel that's been flame cut, and we're going to make some test cuts on it to try to get some heavier, deeper depth of cuts than what I showed on the previous videos there. So we're going to have that content in there for you. And I've also got some more job shop work, stuff that I've done at my day job there. I had a big platen there that goes on a press, some type of pressing machine. And the threads were, well, first of all, the rod was broke off in these threads. So the first thing we had to do was get that out, which I didn't get any video of that because the other guys were working on that. But the threads were completely stripped out of this thing. So I set it up in the bore mill and did what they asked me to do, bush it, put a new bushing in there with some threads. We had to make a new rod. This was all in a rush. It was the plant was down. They needed to get this stuff done quick. So anyway, I got video of that, and that's what's going to be in this week's SNS. And I've been trying to capture a lot of the different day jobs here and there. And I keep those things stored on the computer so that each week I have some more interesting machining content that I can share with you. Each week try to pull from that little supply and try to share it with you. So I'm continuing to film, and there might be a few little short clips that I'd throw in here or there, just some stuff that I take with my iPhone, 15-30 second clips, and I'd like to try to throw those in and try to break up some of the content. I always think that's fun and makes for good video, and I get good response from you guys out there, enjoying that. So I think that's going to be the majority of the machining content. If I got anything extra, I'm just going to throw it in there, and that's going to be it. I got a couple other things here that I'm going to share with you, a couple of viewer things that's come in. I wanted to give a thanks to Jim McDonald. He's from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and he sent me this little assortment of end mills, brand new end mills. So Jim, thank you very much. These are all new old stock end mills that's never been used, and he wanted me to have them. So Jim, thank you very much for those. So the shaper video on making the tool spacers has already come out. You maybe have seen that by now. And as I said, we're going to do some heavy roughing cuts over there on the shaper. And this has led me to start brushing up on my tool steel knowledge. It's been quite a while since I've done any reading on tool steels. And so I'm having to kind of backtrack and go back to my books, the machineries handbook, and all my machinist books have that stuff in there. So this is the tool right here that you're going to be seeing me use on this SNS. And I finally figured out what tool this is. Firth Sterling. And I did a little bit of research online, found out that was an actual steel mill up north. And I don't recall exactly where it was at, but it's no longer there. They're not in business, just like a lot of industry is gone. But this particular tool bit, and I'll kind of talk about it in the video, this particular grade of tool bit, I believe, is going to be the tungsten style. Very hard, and this is not ideal for shaper use, this particular grade anyway. So we are going to, at another video coming out real soon, I've been playing with this week. I've rounded up some Momax Cobalt tool bits. Momax Cobalt is a very good high-speed tool. Very, very good stuff. And I'm going to make another roughing tool out of one of these Momax, and we're going to do some test cuts and see if this tool will work better than this Firth Sterling. I believe the grade on this, let me see, I just now remembered, it says Super Mode Chip. on the other side of it right there. But for shaper use, I think we're going to go with a Momax Cobalt, and we're going to do some testing with that. But what I was getting at was, I've been reading in the handbooks on the different grades of tool steel, you know, from your normal high-speed steel of M2, and then this would be M42, and then you have your other T grades such as T15, and you have Rex. I've got a Rex AAA, you know, so there's a lot of different grades there, and before I try to talk about that and stumble on my words, I need to try to understand it a little bit better on my end, and try to relay a little bit of that information out there on video. So I'm going to try to make some more video of that. We'll talk about some different grades of tool steel, and what they're used for around the shop, because one particular tool bit may be good on the lathe, but it may not be good for an interrupted cut over on the shaper. So that's kind of what I'm getting at right there. So we're going to do some more video of that pretty soon, okay? So a couple really cool things to show you right here. I got a couple of neat things from Eric Holgan, and this is his card. Sugar Creek Range, Lancaster, Kentucky. All right, so they must have a range up there. You can go and shoot your rifles and your shotguns and all that. So anyway, he's got he put this in the package there. It's a taper shank reamer. So Eric, thank you for that. But check this stuff out. He decided to go ahead and make on his own some of these sights for the G&E shaper, and I think you guys all know where I'm coming from on this. I've shown these already. He made some, and he engraved my A-Bomb 79 logo in there. Look at that. It's engraved from the back side. So he's got, let's see, we've got 3 of them with the A-Bomb 79. We got one blank that's it's machined, but it's not, doesn't have a logo. We have a G&E 2018 to complete the matching set right there. Okay, we got two blanks, and then this one right here is just one piece with the logo on it. So this will go into the cabinet, my YouTube cabinet inside the house right there. So very cool, Eric. And I hadn't even checked them yet. So those bores are 1.25 inches, and let's see how close he's got these things turned. If I can get on the shoulder there. So it looks like it's going to be right at 1.25 inches. That'd be, for you metric guys, that's 1.250 inches. So it looks like you got it right on. So very cool. I'm assuming this is going to be a piece of acrylic right there. All right, so Eric, I'll give them a shot and see how they fit the hole. And thank you very much. That's very cool, very thoughtful gift of you to make these things. Very, very neat. So thank you very much. Sugar Creek Range. While we're on the subject of these sights, I'm going to go ahead and show you one more thing that I got from another one of my viewers named Dave Mayers. He's up from Minnesota. And he had sent this right here, do-it-yourself G&E sight glass kit. He sent this block of acrylic. It's, I believe it's like 7/8 thick, just a little over 7/8. So he had sent this to me in case I wanted to try to make some of my own. So Dave, thank you. I'll put this in my stock, and maybe we'll get to use this one day on another project, okay? All right, there you go. Thanks again, Eric. Very cool gift right there. What the hell, I'm sure you guys want to see if this thing fits, and I'm sure Eric wants to know if it fits too. So let's go ahead and pop one out of here and see if Eric's fits. So all you really got to do is just pull on them, just like that. So it looks very similar. Very similar. I wonder if he got the dimensions off. I wonder if he's got one of these things. I never did ask him. Look at that. It fits perfect. There you go. Still pop it out. Let's go ahead and push it back down in there. Very cool. That looks a whole lot better than that brass one I made down here on the other end. All right, there you go, guys. Again, thank you, Eric. That's really cool, man. I appreciate that. A little bit left on that top edge. You've probably just seen a couple clips of me grinding in this tool bit. So this is a 1-inch square tool bit. This is a, I believe it's one of those Vasco Supreme or Sterling. Can't hardly read it. It's a Sterling. So anyway, this is going to be my roughing tool bit. So we've got a little bit of a lead angle right there, and I put some side rake in it right there, and we're gonna see if we can make some chips with this tool bit right now. This is just playing around. I'm not making any specific part. We're just messing around. I'm going to make use of this tool spacer that I've already shaped. It's in here now. What I've got is a piece of 1-inch thick hot roll plate. This is probably, I think this was out of some 1x10 or 1x12 hot roll flat bar. Some torching that I did a while back. I had to make a spanner wrench at work, and I saved the drops just to have some scrap metal around here for exactly this kind of stuff right here. So here is a real good example of something that you could utilize a shaper for if you have one. Say you got a piece of steel that's flame cut. If you've never had to mill this kind of stuff or machine it, this is hell on your tools, especially carbide tooling. It's real easy to chip carbide and burn tools up. But I'm going to use the shaper, and we're going to just make some cuts on this thing and see how that tool does. And I'm going to attempt to make some deep passes across this, you know. So let's give it a try. I don't need this for anything, so we can just cut it away to nothing if we want to. I got a parallel down in the bottom of the vise. And I'm going to get this thing clamped in nice and tight, get the machine set, and I'll bring it back. We got the cut ready to go. I thought I'd show you this thing right here. This is a chip pan that came with the shaper that I kind of forgot about. I set it outside and I just forgot to get around to it. I'm going to take this thing to work and blast it. We got a blast cabinet down there. Clean it up because it's got a little bit of rust on it. But it's really neat. So the previous owner must have made this thing. Got those 3 bars there on the bottom that'll fit these T-slots right here. And he's got a good fit on them. So that'll hang right there and it'll catch the chips, man. Awesome. I've got a 1/4-inch depth of cut set. I'm going to start with that right there. All right, here we go. See that interruption? I dropped it another 1/8 of an inch. So that'll be 3/8 of an inch total. I want to see if we can work up to a nice heavy cut. That's a 20,000 step over, by the way. All right. We'll stop that. Not a problem. We're going to go for it. That'll be about a 3/4 inch depth of cut right there. See? I did back it off to a 10,000 step over because I'm a little worried that it's going to shove it out. So let's see what it does. Get your safety glasses on and pucker up. Here we go. Speed engaged. Look at that. All right. All right, I got to stop it and get a little video for Instagram. Look at that, man. No problem. I'm almost caught up to Steve Summers. I think he went to like 825 or 850 on the depth, so we're getting close. I got confidence we'll get it too. This is where the hydraulic rod screws into. I've already got the threads bored out of there, but they've gone in there and they've tried to weld this thing over and over and over again to try to get it to hold, and it just continues to break. You can see that big chunk of it just broken out of there. So I'm boring this whole thing out, and we're going to machine a bushing to go in there that'll have a ID threaded to fit a new rod, actually a stud. We're going to make a stud to go in there. But I'm still boring it out, boring away. I had this piece of drop 4-inch 4140. I'm probably going to use this piece right here, and we're going to make a threaded bushing. I've got enough length there that we're going to use this whole piece. I'll be able to chuck it and then do my turning, boring, and threading, get it all done and just part it off. All I'll have left to do is just deburr the one end of it, and then we'll have this one in here that's just basically scrap. threading it for 2.5 inch 12. This is my shop made thread gauge I made a while back. And this is right on what it needs to be. So this is my go no-go gauge, and it's just a standard nut that we use for checking threads. So that's what's going to be. We're going to be making a stud to go inside of there, and then this will go inside of there. And probably what we're going to do is shrink it in there. We'll freeze it in liquid nitrogen and stick it in there, let it grow and get tight. It'll be an interference fit, 2 or 3 thou. And then I'll go in on each side of the split line and drill and tap it for a very large set screw, maybe like a 3/4 inch set screw, to make it as a Dutchman on each side to lock it in there. We're not going to weld it in. We're just going to shrink it in and then put some Dutchmans. Needs one more pass through there. There's no clearance on that thread. It's actually, the further you go in there, the tighter it gets. So we're gonna make a spring pass. Put just a little bit of cutting oil in there to help deter any galling that might happen. You never know when there's like a flake of metal still in there somewhere. All right, that looks good right there. Got just the slightest amount of wiggle in there. That's gonna work good. I don't have much to come off that OD, just about 40 thousandths really to bring it to size. We're gonna end up making this with a 4 thousandths interference fit. We're gonna shrink it and drop it in the hole. I've got my stud threaded and we've got a good fit. I use my thread triangles to get the pitch right. And there's very little rock in that, so we've got the proper fit in that. That's going to be the stud that goes into this, and it'll be like so. You'll have about 3.5 inches in this, and you'll have another 3.5 that goes into the rod, which we're going to be making a new rod for this as well. So good fit, I'm happy with that. And now I can go to the bandsaw, cut it off, and just chamfer the other side there. Now you can see it. All right, you got it froze?
It's froze.
There's your hammer down there too.
It was supposed to.
Yeah. 4 thousandths interference. That's pretty cool.
You draw it, and that's on the key is 200 degrees below zero.
Yeah. All right. That's probably good, isn't it? You want 4 of them?
Yeah.
2 and 2?
Yeah, just square it off.
Okay.
See.
All right.
I'll go get them. Good, that worked out.
Worked out good.
Yep.
Our liquid nitrogen trick worked. We got it froze and shrunk in there. So instead of welding it, we're going to put some Dutchman. So I'm going to put 4 set screws in there on the split line. That should keep it locked in. The pressure on this platen is always down. Whenever it raises, it's just picking it up. So all your pressing force is downward against the sleeve and against the shoulder there. It got cold. You can see the frost up top there too. Tapping these half 13, and I'm not going to power tap these because this most likely that hole is not drilled exactly straight because of it being on that split. Excuse me. And also because this is 4140 heat treated, which is harder than this mild steel, so the drill probably had a tendency to walk to one side just a bit. I'm going to hand tap it so that the tap can follow the hole naturally and just support it on the end here. And that'll work out good. That'll work. We'll do that 3 more times. All right, we got all 4 holes drilled and tapped. I've already pre-checked the set screws. They're all seated in there just like they should be. So we're going to clean them out and use some of our red Loctite. So there's the set screws. I got some of my solvent here, and we're going to make sure that all the oil's off of those right there. This is fast dry stuff, kind of like brake clean. So we're going to blow it up in there, and then we'll use our air gun with my earplugs installed. That'll dry it real fast. Okay. And we'll use some 271 Loctite. This is the high strength. Requires heat to get it to remove. We'll put a little bit into each hole. And we'll go ahead and get them installed. And this job is pretty much done. That is a suitable repair on this right there. That was pretty mangled up, welded on many times to try to hold that rod to that platen there. So I hope this one holds up for a while and doesn't get messed up. But so if we ever have to do this again, we can just put some heat on these set screws, knock them loose, do the same thing. We'll just bore this out and make another one to go in there. I almost forgot to show you. New stud. Got a good fit in there. Man, just like it was machined for it. So this goes into there, and then the rod goes on top of that, and it just gets locked down right there. Right.